Hello, everyone, and welcome into this amazing preview. Jeremy and I are so excited to bring this sale to you. And yes, I hit 25,000 subscribers. So this is the much anticipated celebration jewelry sale for my channel hitting over 25,000 subscribers. And I can't tell you how excited we both are. And thank you for also coming over to Bully Run to all of our sales. Let me grab the basic information for this sale. It is going to be Tuesday, July 1st at 7 p.m. It's a claim style, buy it now, fast and fun. It's Jason's 25K celebration. Again, this is a very partial preview, and welcome in and thank you. And when I said it's a partial preview, the reason why is, Jeremy, are you working on around 40 lots in there? Yeah, 40-ish? Yeah, so you're going to see at least some of the 40 that Jeremy is working on in the other room. We did have some jewelry come in very, very late this week, and Jeremy is feverishly working on it. And we did purchase the collection, and we were so excited. I didn't get a chance to do like junk in the trunk and our unboxing on my channel. So you're going to see some treasures in a couple minutes that you've never seen before on either channel. Please, for registration, go over to bullyrunantiques@gmail.com. 5 pieces of basic information: YouTube name, real name, shipping address, email for invoice, phone number. You only ever have to register one time unless you change some of this information. If you change some of this, then you need to email Jeremy and say, hey, Jeremy, before the sale starts and before you get confused and derailed, I changed my YouTube name or I changed my phone number. Please change that in your database and he'll be glad to do it. Please do not go over to the Bully Run Coffee website and register. We will not accept registrations through the Bully Run Coffee website, but what we will accept through the coffee website are coffee orders and tea orders. And we thank you for avoiding confusion for Jeremy. Now, fire agate, sterling silver, the vast majority of what you're going to see in this initial kind of lot here are pieces that came in from that Hartville jewelry haul that I had just done an unboxing the other day on my channel. And boy, oh boy, are some of these treasures amazing. And I told Jeremy, I really want to price these pieces as a celebration and a thank you for all of our customers. I do not think you're going to be disappointed both in quality or in pricing. I think you're all going to go home with some treasures, and we are super excited about the sale. Look at the dazzle and scintillation of these stones. Rhodolite garnet, so purple garnet. Some people call it the bishop's garnet. And then Bohemian red garnet and a beautiful moonstone cabochon. Solid sterling silver produced by Nikki Butler. Very elegant. Sometimes Nikki Butler's pieces get very, very large. Some are almost, a lot of people find them to be a little clumsy to wear, but that one is elegant. And I love the larger Nikki Butler crosses. I have many of them, but I love large scale work. This is sterling silver, turn of the last century, 1900, 1910. Butterfly wing, blue Morphos butterfly, a small little baby like moth or butterfly, and then look at that butterfly wing from behind. Set in sterling silver. The original ribbon is there. You can just trim that off. I wasn't going to sell this, and then I decided that I have one, and I thought, nope, I don't need 2. I only need 1. This is an antique necklace, so if you're into antique and you love beautiful and delicate and wonderful, that's very fragile, but very delicately constructed. Solid sterling silver, possibly an amethyst there. I will definitely check that before the sale, but I love the delicacy of that necklace, how delicate and airy, almost Edwardian in style. A 10-karat gold gents ring. I will try and hammer this back out, and I will try and file and polish that to get those internal dents out, but that's solid 10-karat gold. And let me get you a size on this. And thank you all for watching our previews, by the way. The views on the previews have been through the roof. I just can't imagine, thousands and thousands of people watching the previews, but we're so grateful and we're so thankful. Size 10 and a half. size 10.5, and that is a little diamond, white gold, onyx, and 10 karat gold for a gents ring. So if you're looking for a large scale gents ring in 10 karat gold, we got you covered. One of the pieces that was not in the collection that was from another haul video is this enameled compact, and everyone had said, I really love that compact. Can you please bring it to a sale? Not a problem. What a more appropriate sale to bring it to than a celebration of subscribers. And I told Jeremy I never wanted to be popular when I was in high school or when I was in college, but it sure feels good to be accepted later in life. And I'm 51, and I just really greatly appreciate everyone coming in and supporting both of our channels. It means an awful lot to us, and it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of effort. But I've often said I really wouldn't give it up, because it does make me very, very happy to be able to share with all of you and then have these amazing sales with Jeremy. There will be a slight delay in invoicing and shipping. Jeremy, yes. Tell them where you're going to be, but you have to speak up.
I'll be in the Chagrin Valley Horse Show the 4th of July weekend.
Okay, so he said he'll be at the Chagrin Valley Hunt Club Horse Show. It's an English horse show that's a national show. And why I'm familiar with it is I used to ride English Hunter Jumper for Howard Lewis at the Chagrin Valley Hunt Club. And Jeremy will be set up at the Chagrin Valley Hunt Club the weekend of 4th of July coming up. So there will be a delay in invoicing and shipping from this sale. So I ask you to please be patient with Jeremy and let him get the invoicing and shipping out. Jeremy, is that good?
Works for me.
Okay, said works for him. He is so excited. So if you are local, which we have a lot of local viewers, if you want to stop out to the horse show, I do think that it's free. You can look up the information online for the Chagrin Valley Hunt Club, and you'll see the Hunter Jumper Classic, and that is the show that he'll be at. And I think it's this next coming weekend, 4th of July, which is wonderful. Sterling silver and Mexican, the top posts were replaced because I'm sure there were screwback mechanisms that were signed. But look at that kind of azure malachite or lapis and malachite. Really beautiful. And I love all those little dangles. So incredibly well made. Really gorgeous. Fantastic in design. This I wasn't going to sell, and I was going to gift it to my mother, but I had asked her, and she said, it's okay if you sell it, because she has a lot of jewelry now that she's really, she's not really reaching for. She just has her favorites like I do. This is missing the top bail, so it's okay. You can just either leave it that way, put a jump ring on it, or just grind it off and polish that spot. This is either 10 or 14 karat gold. I'm almost certain it's 14. So I'll scratch test that very, very lightly somewhere inconspicuous to get the test on that. But look at these garnets. One of the most beautiful. That is turn of the last century, 1890 to 1910. It was a very popular design in that floral or pinwheel. Look at those half seed pearls. Absolutely stunning brooch. And because people have asked for antique pieces, I decided to bring on the Victorian low karat gold earrings. These had never been seen on the channel before. 14 karat gold screwbacks, 9 karat gold tops where that dome is, and then look at the little drops. Very beautiful for Victorian. The earring backs are replaced in probably the 40s or 50s, but the tops are Victorian. Very intimate, very beautiful, very conservative and small. Probably more early Victorian than later Victorian on the tops. I always have to bring a diamond ring. And I told Jeremy, I said, this came in with another grouping, and I can do a really great price on it. This is about a 7.5 for a size. Look at that diamond. A full cut, modern brilliant, in an older mounting, probably circa dating on the mounting, probably late 30s into the 40s, but really intimate size, and a great dazzle, a great sparkle, and I'll give you a great deal on that. And these are Mexican sterling with beautiful turquoise gems. And I've often loved that hoop style that goes the opposite way than a normal hoop or an average hoop. And look at the screwback mechanisms, work perfectly, and those are definitely Mexican. signed right there, made in Mexico. Love those turquoise stones. And those are genuine turquoise in that kind of minty aqua blue. Very hard to find these days. A trio of thimbles. Normally I would sell these separate, but I told Jeremy we're going to consolidate down the lots this time because he asked for less paperwork to make shipping easier. Jeremy, isn't that what you asked for? Yes, you did. So these, and I will always work with him rather than work against him. When you're a team, you work together, and it makes sense to get each other through a process. He depends on me to identify and to, come on and host, and I depend on him to do amazing shipping and, a great invoicing, and we try our best not to make any mistakes. This is Tiger Iron and beautiful modeling in the stones. Love the cut of the stones. Doesn't that make sense to facet that on the sides as well? So that kind of, it just is, I don't know. Those are DTR, and it also comes with the pendant. And that is Tiger Iron. Again, look at the graining of the red, the tiger eye, and then those luscious lines of almost hematite metallic. And wonderful design. And that's DTR, Desert Rose Trading. Look at the size of the bale. Jeremy really loved this. And he said, if that doesn't go, could I have that? And I said, sure, no problem. But it will go, and we're grateful for all of you. Let me clear this out. I'll put you on pause for 1 second. I'll go grab the tray from Jeremy, and I'll be right back. Well, my best laid plans often go astray. So I just said to Jeremy, I said, I want to add 5 Vogels to the sale. Look at the movement. And I think you're going to go crazy for these because double terminated is technically a Vogel. Normally Vogels are rock crystal, but these are blue tiger eye and tiger iron. But look at the color and watch what happens. They're just so incredible, and each one is so different. Look at this one kind of healed itself, and look at those little splotches of crystals within that larger crystal. These are very, very big, and I did go online and see, oh my gosh, look at that right there. I did go online, and I tried to find some, and guess what? They are completely sold out on every website I went to. Look at the movement of that structure. And anytime you see kind of that secondary green, that's a little bit of polish that sunk down in to the crystal. But look at that right there. And I checked all the tips to make sure all the tips were perfect. And when they were shipped in, they had wax that were covering the finials, these terminals, I should say. Terminals rather than finials. But look at the movement of that light in those crystals. So I decided to bring on 5 Vogels as well, because the last time we sold out, and I think I only have 11. I think I have 11. That's it. And then I have no more. So I have 11, and then that is final. So I think I have, after this, I think I have 6 more. And then that's it, because there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds to choose from, and I picked out like the best of the best of the best. Jeremy, I'm coming over to grab that from you. Sorry guys, I'm going to wander across the house like usual. Thank you, Jeremy. Perfect. That looks so good. Thank you. So these are some of the pieces that you have yet to see. These are some of the items that you have yet to witness. There's a lot of costume jewelry in these pieces. I think this one might have been, I don't know if this is Whiting and Davis. I know that this was signed. Yeah, this one's Whiting and Davis, but it's one from the 80s. Look at the snake mesh, and then it's got that large faux pearl in the center, and then look at that winged kind of laurel wreath design, and it is signed Whiting and Davis right there. Oh, I need to get a manicure. Rhinestone, fantastic and wonderful condition. And then you get a lot of sterling in the sale too that we didn't get to. A citrine, peridot, and little, maybe little diamonds. I don't know. I'll know for the sale. And that looks like faceted fluorite rather than faceted blue topaz. And let's get a size on that one too. Let's get a size on this jobby. And then you'll know for the sale, so you know what to come for. That is an 8 3/4 technically. And I don't know, it might be blue topaz, but it sure looked like faceted fluorite when it was in that box. And they do kind of do that fantasy cut on fluorite. It might be a blue topaz. So I'll definitely take a closer look at that. But like I said, these pieces just came into us. And I said to myself, we're adding those for the celebration. And we will be doing some bundles. So again, there are some bundle deals for our dealers or, collectors. And then someone said, well, why do you say that bundle deals are for dealers? And I said, well, customarily, dealers like to buy in bulk so that they can chop up and resell. They can divide it up and resell it. But if you want an instant collection, I guess we could sell them as dealer bundles or instant collections. We don't reserve anything for any buyers, so let there not be any mistake there. Now, this is 800 silver. These are Norwegian. I have a very large collection of these, and I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'll spell it. Solje. So there you go. I'll just spell it. And because there's a lot of bickering when it comes to pronunciations, and I've always said it phonetically. So these are dangle drop style earrings and the beautiful, beautiful drop style brooch. All the little kind of spinners or discs are there. Really beautiful to have a set. Quite a few pieces of Florenza. Jeremy, there's like, in that other box in there, is there like a Florenza bracelet, that red one? Okay, you don't know yet? Okay, so I think there's other pieces of Florenza in the sale, so we'll take a quick peek, but this was a lovely one. And this is Florenza right there. Florenza has gone up in value over the years. Years and years and years ago, when I saw pieces like this, they'd be moderate, maybe 25, 35, and you'd be lucky to get that. Now they're like way up, but we will be bringing mega deals. That's all I'll say is we want these pieces to go home with everyone. And it's a thank you for all that you've done for both of our channels. This is 800 silver, faux pearl, and then these beautiful art glass beads. These are like these kind of art glass beads in this beaded chain, very kind of delicate. Very great color combination. Love the little polka dots on that emerald green. And I do like the combination of those kind of aged pearls, that kind of champagne colored pearl. I think this set is solid sterling silver. And I don't remember, I think it is artist signed. But again, I should have done, yes, it is. This is Ross Simons. So this is from Ross Simons, and I wish you could see the whole chain is bezel set all the way up, made to look like diamonds. That is just a little tiny, there we go, little tiny kink in the chain, but not a problem. Came right out. Look at the bezel set crystals all the way up that chain. How wonderful that looks, like diamonds by the yard. Robust style clasp at the back, so that's very lovely. And then look at that. Looks like an Art Deco diamond and platinum drop, and that is signed right there. Let's see where the signature went. There's a signature here, and then let me show you on the earring. The matching earrings are here, and look, same design, same everything, and it's signed right there with the Ross Simons. 925 Ross Simons. A lot of Ross Simons jewelry is produced in China. And the reason why is because their stone setting is so advanced. They do a really beautiful job with their stone settings. So that's the Ross Simons set, necklace and earrings. Then we're going to pair these two together. Vintage rhinestones, I think there's more in the box. That's by Jeremy. So if you love older rhinestone pieces, this one's Weiss. This one's unsigned, but sure does look like Kramer. Definitely looks like Kramer. I think that we had one similar to this a few months back, and we sold it very, very quickly. Two original by Robert turtles. I would like to sell these as a pair. So these are going to go together, and, I wish I could sell them separate so one person gets one and one person gets one. But I think we'll sell them as a pair. I think we will. I like them together. I like the gesture of the heads. I like those pinned together on a lapel. They're very small size. Those are brass with, shall you say, enamel paint and little faux pearls, but both are original by Robert. I'm going to put them there so we can see them. Too cute. And then a wonderful and very delicate cameo set. Some of you have asked for unusual cameos, so this is as unusual as we've seen in a while. Mother of pearl cameo. Very classical woman in a silver filigree frame or wirework frame, sterling silver signed, and then screwback earrings that are also signed, and an exact match. And what I've often loved about the old cameo sets, they were mindful and wanted the ladies to face each other. So as you're wearing these, this goes on, your right ear and your left ear. So when you're being viewed, they're looking towards you, kind of directional to pull the eye to your face. Really magnificent and very beautiful set. Jeremy, can you think of anything over there in that box can you start to do maybe the next round? Just kind of dig through that box, Jeremy, and kind of do the next round. I appreciate your help. This is mother of pearl, garnet, and sterling silver. We have other pendants like this that are very delicate from that collection, very classy. And this one I did check already for sterling. A lot of times these are not sterling silver. These are like that junk metal or copper foil with silver plating. This is definitely solid sterling silver and mystic topaz in that Y style necklace. It is also spaced with genuine amethyst in this version. Now in the junk versions, you'll see that these stones will be glass. They will not even be gemstones. But look at the dazzle of those irradiated quartz that are then called mystic topaz. Beautiful long chain on this as well. And it is signed here. There you go. And that S-style hook, and then look at the extender. So you can wear that shorter if you wish. I think that on the shortest would be probably 20 inches at the shortest. Yeah, it looks about 20. But we'll have all those measurements for you, but I want you to see that. Normally not a giant fan of mystic topaz, but boy, when they look like that, I'm all in. And I love that necklace. This, I think, is Weiss. Again, I didn't spend enough time with these pieces. That's Weiss. Fuchsia and red rhinestones in that question mark design. Very unusual style for Weiss. Great size as well. Large without being too large or cumbersome or in your face. There's a lot of amber jewelry. This is a sterling silver and amber ring. It does have an adjustable shank, but why I made kind of the exception when I saw this to bring it on to all of you is it is very robust. And it doesn't, what do I say? It's not that flimsy version. It's very rigid. It's very solid. Look at the thickness of the metal there. And when you see other bypass or open shanks, it's very contemporary. And, I'll tell you, Whatnot is flooded with it. I'm just not a fan of that. This is size 9. And then it goes to like about, let's see here, 9, and it goes to like a 7.5, but you see there's room there. So I would call it about an 8. So I would say that's technically about an 8, and then it's adjustable. So you can adjust it. I don't think I'd go much bigger than that because then you're going to run into a problem of it opening up on you. But look at that optic and beautiful modern design. There is an exception to every rule, and it's not because I own it is an exception. It's an exception because it was well done. And most of them are not. Most of them are very flimsy, and then you get them and you're disappointed because they don't stay together. A great idea, but poorly executed always causes an issue. These are amber drop earrings and exceptional. Sterling silver. The stones are wonderful. Round cabochons. Beautiful step-down design, sterling silver construction, post and friction back at the top, and then we had to go with these. I said to myself, I always sell these local, and they sell it every single time. Rose-cut garnet earrings, vintage all day long, and unusual because look how large those central garnets are. Usually they're much, much smaller in the center, and then, just all kind of clustered, but that was an exception, and I love the fire. Let me go get another tray, and I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, welcome back, and I reloaded the light box, but before I do all of this, I want to show you the sterling rings we're bringing. So there is a beautiful, vintage, beautiful turquoise and sterling. There's an arts and crafts blue lapis that is simply stunning. There is a petrified wood and sterling silver. There is a tiny little delicate ring with a faceted hematite. And then there's this beautiful gents ring from the late 1940s that could be sodalite in that one. So there's those. And sizes on those, so so you're all familiar. The little turquoise one is going to come in at about a 5.5. So that's about a 5.5. And that is a wonderful turquoise and sterling silver. Very early. Love that those are carefully bezel set. Let's go with the petrified wood one next, and look at that. Some people would say that that could be flint. It's actually not. This is about a 5 1/4. So technically, yeah, I wouldn't push it down any more than a 5 1/4. Do you notice that purple hue in that petrified wood? Anytime you see that purple hue, that's a much more rare version, and very early, because some of the earliest petrified wood that was actually, being, well, I don't want to say mined, but found and then cut and polished. Look at the hematite one for a size 9. Very delicate ring, but vintage and so beautiful. And then the gents ring is going to be much, much larger. This is 11 1/2. And that is fantastic for an 11 1/2. Love the construction on this. Probably maybe Uncas Brothers. Looks like maybe the stone was glued in at some point or reinforced with some glue. That happened over the years. When stones would rattle, people would take them to jewelers, and the jewelers would just put some epoxy in from behind. This is about a 4 3/4 to a 5, and that is a beautiful arts and crafts. And let me see if I could wipe that stone off just a little bit more. And it looks as though, yep, it will take a better polish if it's wiped off. There's just a little bit of wear because that's the highest point of the ring. So a little matte finished on the center stone. I guess I could take it to the buffing wheel and buff it, but that's the history of the piece, so I don't think I'm going to mess with it. That's about a 5, and the construction is just wonderful for arts and crafts. So that is definitely an arts and crafts original. A lot of people date these to like later, and I go, no, not quite. But look at the metallic inclusion in that natural lapis. And you know that lapis isn't dyed. You know that color is right out of the ground. Those are getting really hard to find. Victorian. So for the early jewelry lovers, we got you covered in the sale. This is a Victorian brooch, either gold shell or gold plated, and a beautiful repoussé. 3 flowers with this little blossom and this kind of whiplash asymmetrical design, circa 1870, 1880 on that brooch. And then this is the gold one. So if you love morning jewelry with gold, let me brush this off. Let me get some of the dust off of that. Give me 1 second. Jeremy, how's it coming in there? Is it coming okay? And then are you, what are you finding? Can you kind of just give us a feel? Did you see any sterling? Did you find any gold? I think there's 2 gold rings. There's 2 gold rings. He is working so hard in there. But at least we're in the air conditioning. I said to him, we are not going to record in the studio today because it is air conditioned, but boy, it's hot because it's the 2nd floor. Riveted gold back on this. It's definitely at least 10 karat, if not 14 karat. Look at the early mechanism here, and that is faceted onyx. That is not glass, that is faceted stone. That's onyx in that kind of bar brooch design. Wonderful half pearls in a gold mounting. And look how thick that gold is. Oh, and a note to everyone, that is called a knife edge setting. See that knife edge, and then when you turn it, look how thick the gold is from the side, and it's a knife edge from the front. Look how they did that. So it almost vanishes like a little thin line. That's called a knife edge mounting. Very hard to do. But this is also a watch pin, so you could dangle a watch or a charm off of the bottom of that, but it was likely a pocket watch. A gold pocket watch would have hung from this brooch, but boy, oh boy, very thick gold, by the way. Very thick gold on that one. So that's a beauty. 1860, 1870. Let me put my mandrel down. And then I have a whole box full of little silver pins. Let me round these up. And I don't know... maybe I'll do this in 2 lots, but these are all from the late 30s and into the 1940s. And these didn't make the other preview because they were on the bottom of that box. And look at the grape one. The grapes with maybe that one will sell separate. Sterling signed down in there by the artist. Beautiful retro floral. Maybe that one will sell separate. And then there's like, whoops. And then there's like 2 winged griffins. Oops. Oops. Too much in my hands over here. 2 oopsies. But this is these 2 winged griffins. And these are all brooches. But look at those for winged griffins. And you could wear the pair. All right, so those are those. Floral, the sailfish or marlins, the seagull, the grape cluster, and that one. I really wanted to sell that as a grouping. So what I might try and do to make the sale go a little quicker, I might try and do that as still the grouping. And then maybe sell these two separate. But look how you could wear those. You could wear those kind of interlocking if you want to. You could wear them staggered on a jacket or a blouse. Very lightweight, but definitely sterling and from the, those are from the 30s, 40s. And then I really love the little harp. So maybe, someone's going to say, I really want the harp separate because I can't find it anywhere else. And that's Bo Sterling. So maybe we'll do the harp separate. I don't know. We'll see by the time I bundle these pieces. An Elgin pocket watch. I did try and get this to run and it wouldn't. Art Deco case. Does unscrew to open it up. Elgin, this is a gold-filled case, but very detailed. So that will sell as is. Unfortunately, it costs an awful lot of money to get those fixed. And then these three pendants. And these two on the outside. Well, let's just do these two side by side. These are DTR, aka J. King. Wonderful landscape agate. Looks like a Van Gogh sky. A very abstract and impressionistic Mother Nature's painting, if you will. Wonderful landscape in a sizable pendant. Solid sterling silver. And J. King is just wonderfully constructed. And everyone says, well, it's made in China, so I'm not a fan. And I just say to everyone, just buy it for the design and the craft of the way things are put together. Don't worry about where they're produced. Worry about the end result. We don't down the Mexican silver. We don't down, the Native American silver. So be open to the end result is what I should say. And this stone, if I saw this stone at the gem show, I would buy this to set this in one of my creations. But look how great it looks with Bakelite. So if you have Bakelite jewelry, you can pair this with Bakelite. Don't be afraid to pair different things together because there are no rules in jewelry. This one's also ruby zoisite and J. King, but gigantic bale. And I covered this in the other video. I love the way this is stamped to mimic this chevron or zigzag design that kind of really, I like that they incorporated the design on this to follow the design of this. Very well thought out. And look how thick the sterling silver is. They spared no expense with the way that was produced. Very lovely. Goes on beads or a very thick chain. And this one. This is Navajo, at least in my mind. It's always been a Navajo design. That squash blossom, feather or leaf, and the flower blossom at the top. That is beautiful and moody malachite. Love how dark it goes. And then that almost halo or planetary orb in the top with that mottled base of that kind of almost lava flow, or when doesn't that look like the beach when the beach goes out after it leaves like the stones and the foam on the sand? Very, very naturalistic. This does clip onto beads or a big chain, so that is an open S-hook bail on the back, and that is signed JT. Of course, I did know that artist for a long time. If you know it and you want to leave it in the comment section, that is totally fine. These earrings are by Ray Tracy, and it was great to see the original paperwork with these. They're signed on the back, eagle feather, so that is the design. So that is eagle feather. There's the Ray Tracy hallmark. So please remember that hallmark right there, the Ray Tracy and sterling silver, very large but very lightweight in their construction, completely hand fabricated. And here is the paperwork. Native Path Silver by Ray Tracy. There's a photo of him. Quite the stunner, quite handsome. Very great information on him. And there you go. Ray Tracy's works are held worldwide by private collectors of exceptional art. He has been featured in scores of publications and is the recipient of numerous awards. Ray is a featured artist in the Ray Tracy galleries and retail stores both here and abroad. Very lovely earrings. And definitely when you see something like this, you immediately think Native American. You immediately go to definitely Native American. Sterling silver Mexican earrings, kind of that door knocker style. Beautiful shell earrings with sterling and gold tops. Very large, but very easy to wear. There's the, oh, there we go. It's 18 karat and sterling silver. Like I said, gold, but those are little 18 karat applied kind of pear-shaped pieces. And look at the shell inlay. So those are beautiful for sterling and 18 karat gold. So if you like to mix your metals, there you go. And these are great because they're almost reversible. I don't know what the stone is because it sure looks like dinosaur bone. That's what it always looks like to me when it has that kind of textured surface. Could be in the coral family as well. Didn't matter because look at the end result of the back pierce work. Solid sterling silver with the kind of euro or omega or clip hooks on the back. Work perfectly, clip in place. Fabulous color. These were my favorite pair of earrings, and don't go anywhere because you're going to say, well, the light box is empty now. It won't be for long. These are sterling silver and turquoise, wonderful Native American, post and friction backed. These are just silver plated, but the rest of it is solid sterling silver. Wonderful, probably from the later 60s on these. And look at those turquoise gems. If you have turquoise this color, you're going to have to go after these earrings because that is not an easy color of turquoise to find, especially with that kind of glow of green and that kind of mottled matrix right there and that rust color. So remember those. Take a screenshot of that and compare your turquoise. And then a lot of people have said we've helped complete some sets. So we're grateful that people are like doing set completion now. Look at these. I do not know who this is. I did not look at these close enough, but those are sterling silver and high quality. I don't know the stone, probably nephrite or in the jadeite family. Definitely an important stone, the way those are constructed. And these are beautiful. They're very airy. They're very lightweight. They're perfect for summer. And sterling silver Mexican and really well constructed. Wire work and granulation. Jeremy, what you finding over there? A bunch of stuff? Jeremy, I'm going to push this in because now my light box is full again. I think I've completely lost my mind, and I might do this as one whole lot. Now, I know someone's going to say, well, I really want the deco pin by itself, or I really want the Matisse Renoir palette earrings by themselves, or I really want the Sarah Cove marquee-shaped stones, or I want the spider even though it doesn't have the pin back on it. I want the Czechoslovakian Art Deco spider. Well, it's a celebration video, and I have to be honest with myself and say we have very limited time to liquidate as much jewelry as comes in. So, oh, and then this is a Victorian photo brooch with that enamel border of that robin's egg blue and white. And that would be great for like a tin type or an ambro type under glass. That's definitely a photo brooch. And then there's this wonderful rhinestone necklace, this drop style. This is Lida or Lido, I forget. I think it's, is it Lido? I think it is. And then I always thought about, I had a piece by Leo Glass. I've had a piece by Haskell lately. I get all my designers mixed up because at a point of designer stuff, it almost doesn't matter sometimes. Then there's the bracelet and the necklace, a little wear on that gemstone, a locket. I think this is going to go as a lot. I really do. I think so. What I am going to do is I am going to pause the video as I get this out of here. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go over and pick up Jeremy's lot. Let me put this stuff. You know what? I am going to sell this. I just decided I am going to sell this as a lot. I definitely, costume I love. It has its place. I'm very well known for costume, and Jeremy knows this. I actually started in the business. Oh, I love the bracelet, though. Started in the business with costume jewelry, and that's when I elevated to all-inclusive, diamonds, gold, platinum, silver. But I started in the late 90s with costume. So yeah, that's going to sell as a lot. And let me show you one more bundle. And then someone's going to say, but I really like that one piece in there. Well, you can buy the whole bundle. And this was in the unboxing video. So if you haven't seen that video and you want to know what's in here, please go over to the recent unboxing I did. It was called like She Saved It For Me. It's called Lockbox Treasures or Lockbox Jewelry. I have so many videos saved right now, I don't know what it's called, but if you wanted to see what's in this lot, this is just going to be sold as a bundle. So it's all costume. There's some sterling. This ring is sterling, this one right here, but it's basically costume jewelry. I think that filigree one is also. There is signed costume. There's a beautiful dragonfly brooch. All right, I'm going to go wander over and grab, I want to show this. No, I'm going to go wander over and get Jeremy's stuff while I look through beads. You ready, Jeremy? What you got? Let me see. So it's still recording over there. Ooh, great. And then I'll let you pick up that little bag. Thank you, Jeremy. There's that one gold ring. Did you find the other little gold ring? Is there another one in there somewhere? So Jeremy's got another gold ring on his station over there. Jeremy, you did a beautiful job laying this out. Thank you. So we have this black spinel cross and little pearls, and that's on a sterling silver chain. Look at the dazzle of those black spinel. Boy, I'll tell ya, I have a black spinel bracelet that I bought, and I bought it for resale, and now I kept it. I put it on the other day, and I said, I like how classy this looks. There's something about black spinel, the way it dances in the light. It almost looks like black diamonds. You almost can't tell the difference. And then a lot of sterling pieces that, this is the rainbow ring, garnet, amethyst, blue topaz, peridot, and citrine. And that is a size, let me tell you all the rings real quick. That's a size 9. So if you're looking for that rainbow style, and these are definitely channel set, but each setting is independent. So those stones will not fall out. They should not fall out because those are crimped over and sunk down in to that channel. So those stones should not fall out, and those are genuine gemstones all the way through. That is a wonderful ring. I love the design. 2 little tiny marcasite and 1 garnet and 1 amethyst. So garnet and amethyst dragonfly. These are brooches, and they're very small and they're very intimate. Imagine wearing that as the pair. So they're kind of flying together, or they're kind of following each other up a dress or up an outfit. I've always staggered these little scatter pins because they are so much fun to wear in different configurations. I love those. And if you have a larger dragonfly and you need 2 babies, then you have like the family. See how they look so great the way that is? These are sterling silver inside outside. I do not know what the stones are. Those are either marcasite or black diamond, and then clear stones on the inside. So you have that inside outside design. So you see the black on the outside and the white on the inside. Beautifully done in sterling silver. Here's another Florenza piece. Jeremy, thank you for giving me a good mixture, a good diverse grouping on this tray. He gave us costume and sterling and gold on this tray. Wonderful job, Jeremy. Florenza, beautiful station pendant, enamel, opalescent glass, and then little faux turquoise and little pearls. Again, really classy for that Victorian style. A wonderful Larimar and sterling silver ring. This one was crazy expensive. I saw the paperwork on this one, and it will not be expensive at the sale. This is a size 8. I think it's basically, let's see if it's slightly adjustable because it's separate at the front, but you really don't want to move it because that's very thick there. Solid sterling silver. Signed on the inside, beautiful sky blue Larimar with not a lot of veining and busyness in the stone. This is a Mabe pearl. Look at that. Looks like some sort of flying almost angel. Look, it looks like a head. It looks like 2 angels. There's like the head and the wings. There's the head and the wings. That looks like 2 flying angels in mother of pearl. Not planned, but Mother Nature sometimes always has a plan for such pieces. Really beautifully done. Little natural kind of chip there in the mother of pearl, but that's so nominal. 18 karat gold chain. I think we're going to pair it with these ocean pearl earrings. Yep, we are. We're going to pair that together. I just made the decision because it looks so good together. Sterling silver mother of pearl. So you're going to be getting the mother of pearl earrings and that large mother of pearl disc with those natural angels on there. That's fantastic. And then red coral and blue turquoise earrings. Who doesn't need those? because everyone keeps saying, do you have any red coral and turquoise together? And sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. Proudly made in the USA. There's the Native American artist signature right there. I don't know who that is. And sterling silver, but boy, they knew what they were doing, because look at the post and friction back and the way those are constructed. I hope I'm getting in close enough today, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope I'm doing a good enough preview so you can see the details. Austrian fruit brooch, a little bit of fogging or foil lift behind on that large cherry. These are getting so hard to find. Let's see here. So the rollover is missing because 99% of the time they're missing, but that still is secure to wear without the rollover. So the rollover isn't there, but that's why I flipped it, because I always look for that. And I always tell Jeremy, those rollovers are always missing on these. And look, it's missing. What do you know? But that is the large cherry. And look how great that is. That's fantastic. And that has surged in price. These are gold earrings. And look at the dazzle and the sparkle. I sure hope you're all still here with us. Inlaid crystal all over the place in that kind of ceramic kind of design. Very lightweight, but the earring wires are all solid 14 karat yellow gold. Really fantastic. And look how those lock in place without a problem. I'll do both of them because some people have said we get these and then they don't lock in place. Those both snap in place and they both lock. That's not moving anywhere. So those are fantastic. Boy, I sure hope you're here for that, because I should have had those up in the first 5 minutes. These are Larimar Omega Back, sterling silver. And again, we'll straighten that wire out a little bit. But yeah, those just go over. Those just gently fold over. They don't snap. They just basically kind of create tension. See how that does that so it doesn't pinch your ear? So that definitely is great construction on those. Slightly bent here, but that's okay. Larimar sterling silver, wonderful construction on those. And one more pair of Larimar earrings. I think this might be the last pair. These are little French wires and delicate little Larimar drops. So that we got really lucky that they had a lot of Larimar and that stuff, because people have been asking. They said, can you please bring on Larimar? And we're like, we can't find it for, good enough prices. These are faux pearl and sterling silver toggle, but I love the color of these. So if you're into colored pearls, these are probably Majorca. It's kind of that almost Tahitian blue-green, the peach, almost a champagne, and then the golden. So it's got all 4 colors of pearls. Extremely affordable, but look completely genuine. It looks like a $20,000 pearl strand is what it looks like. And they're definitely just faux. And then this is great. This is a wonderful, let me check. I think this is either 14 karat or 10 karat. Give me one moment while I get my loop. And yep, this is 10 karat and artist signed. These are citrine, and these are 3 beautifully faceted citrine. Again, think about this. Now, underneath, see, you'd worry about losing one of these stones because they're tension sent. Nope. So this bezel is one solid bezel that goes all the way around all 3 stones. They are locked in place from the top. Look, they're locked in place from behind. Look, it's got all those little bridge work under there, way down in, with those little bridges that go across to hold those in. Very beautiful side profile, side gallery underneath with that scroll work. Gorgeous ring. I almost forgot to get the size on this. This is a technically size 9. You would not want to size this. So if you're not a 9, you'll have to hold off and wait until we find another golden citrine ring. But that is a size 9 technically. And then a beautiful ice jade beaded necklace. Garnets in the center. Ice jade construction. Almost that bluish gray that they're really starting to seek out. This is a more vintage version. I think it's probably late 80s. I would say late 80s in construction. Beautiful stations on the side. And look how they spaced it with those lime green seed beads to kind of punch that color. And look at that with the adjustable top, the way the slip knot is. And this is just a slip knot. You pull, and then it goes together. And then to make it shorter, you just pull this way. See how I did it to make it, basically to make it longer and shorter. So there you go, just the back portion of it. I would say the length on that one, the shortest it could be, that looks to be about 20 inches. And then the longest it could be, looks like it adds about 4 inches. So between a 20 and a 24, beautiful. And I love that, that the two rows come down to a double tassel that is asymmetrical. Isn't that fantastic? And look at those garnets that are woven together as beads. I absolutely love that for jade. I believe that these earrings are 14 karat white gold, and these are genuine, beautiful dark Tahitian pearls, and I do think that these are 14 karat white gold. I'm gonna have to go in and check the posts on this because we did have some that were sterling. I think these are the white gold version with beautiful dark velvet blue sapphires. And then look at that for that open work at the top there. Let me take a quick peek with my loop. I would like to tell you right now so you know. So there are open tops there that look like they would contain stones. And then there is a blue sapphire. And then let me check on the earring wire. It should be signed on the earring wire. I think these are the 14 karat gold version. And I did ask Jeremy to find these in the stuff so we could bring them to the celebration video. And let me see here. I'm using my loop. And let's see here. I see a little tiny mark. I'll pause the video. I'll take a look off camera and I'll bring those back in just a second. We do have a beautiful gold-filled thimble that's old. That's Victorian. A gold-filled thimble with the BRS. That's a size 9. If you're looking for a Victorian gold-filled thimble, that's a beautiful size 9. Wonderful engraving across the surface. And then these pearls, and I believe these have a gold clasp. I think, in fact, this is a solid gold clasp. It is 14 karat solid gold. 14 karat solid gold clasp. There is your maker's mark. And there's the solid 14K. Now, these pearls, I'm going to double check. And I'm going to make sure that they are not cultured. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to double check because they sure do look really good because there are some imperfections here and there. There are some little imperfections in the surface. So I'm going to double check and make sure that these are not cultured. If they are, we'll still bring them. But I'm going to double check these pearls. So if they are, of course, they're dyed. But look at the size of them. So if you're into colored pearls with a large 14 karat gold clasp, we are bringing these as well. These could be an absolute treasure. I think they're costume based on weight and based on the way that they are kind of, their finish just seems too perfect. You know, they seem too costume and they don't have that tooth to them. They don't have that sandpapery tooth. Let me do two small at the back. Let me rub them together side by side. And there is no resistance. It's very, very smooth. So there I just solved the problem for you. See, there's no grit to that. They're very smooth like glass. These are costume with a beautiful 14 karat gold clasp, but that looks like a $70,000 strand of pearls. So you know what? We might do these as a duo. Maybe we'll do these together since they're both costume. Or maybe we'll do them apart. Who knows? All right. So that's that tray. I'm going to return this to Jeremy. I'm going to pause the video. I'll be right back, you guys. Hold on. Wait one sec. I think I overpacked for this sale. I just said to Jeremy, wow, what a celebration we're going to have. So stay tuned for all of this. And I did include the Egyptian bracelet I wanted to keep for myself. So if you saw that in the other video, I am going to include that in the sale. Look at the handful of pins, Native American sterling silver and turquoise, and absolutely wonderful. Look at the elephant with the ruby eye. I love the scale of that, and I love the way that's constructed with that beautiful little natural ruby eye. This did not make the other preview. Native American, small turquoise up a leaf and in a circle. Really kind of very special for small. Another sterling silver leaf here. This was very, very cool. General view of Niagara Falls. I've never seen this as a butterfly. I have never seen this Limoges enamel pin, and that is earlier, I would say again, late turn of the century into 1920 because of the way that pin mechanism is done. See that kind of bypass at the bottom? And then people see that simple hook and they go, no, 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 that's Victorian. And I go, no, it's not. It's absolutely not with a commercial knuckle. A machine-produced knuckle that looks like that? No, that's not Victorian. Nope. Sorry, Charlie. It's just not. And yeah, that's just a beautiful brooch, the way that presents, and in really good condition. So that was wonderful. And then this huge Danecraft, beautiful leaf or feather. I've often said that these were feathers, but look at the way that is for Danecraft sterling down in there. Really dynamic, very large scale, solid sterling silver. A ring that was in the bottom of that box. If you like that kind of faux star sapphire glass, I've never been a fan of this. This has never really done anything for me. I think it's interesting, but I also think, I don't know. Every time I got it, I sold it right away because I wasn't a fan. This is a size 7, and I'm allowed to give you my opinions. People say all the time, they're like, we really appreciate your honesty and your opinions. And I'm like, I don't want to dissuade someone from collecting something. I don't want to kill a sale, but I also want to keep it realistic that we find them so frequently, and other people do cartwheels for them, and I go, I don't know. It's just not my speed. To each their own. This is the CCP pin, and it does have enamel damage, but this is the pin from CCP, CCCP. There we go. Now I got it. And beautiful writing up front here. Clearly, that market with Russian-made items, very, very sought after because there's not very many that existed or left that region. I think that's just dirt up at the top here. Yep, it's just kind of like a schmutz or a little bit of dirt. Let me wipe that off. I guess, well, yeah, it'll come off, but I didn't get it off yet. It's not off of there just yet. And it was great because I did kind of wipe everything down, but I just didn't get everything cleaned up, and I told Jeremy, I said, we need to get this preview done because the sale's coming up so quick. There we go. I got most of it off of there. It needs to be a little bit better, but anyways, you get the gist. And then I showed you that one. I think one of the wires is a little loose. Yeah, this wire right here is a little loose, and see where that's loose here, but that was never soldered here. But this little solder joint is loose at the top here. I don't think I'll have time to fix that, so I'll probably be selling that as is. You saw these two already, so we'll move those out of here. You saw the elephant already, so we'll put him back. And then there's a little pile of some silver utensils off camera, and I'll sell it probably as a bundle, more than likely. This is carnelian and sterling silver. Again, that might be bundled. There might be like maybe 2 of the leaves together, the Niagara Falls and the carnelian together, the CCP by its own, Danecraft by its own. We'll see, but I want to move the sale along. And this is a tie clip that is a sterling silver Lily of the Valley spoon. That's a sterling silver tie clip. This might be a whole lot, just so you know. And then this tiny little sterling silver spoon. A lot of people would break this up and sell everything separate. And what is that? Is that like a little beaver or a little woodchuck? It's like a little beaver in the bottom of that spoon. Holy cow, I love that. If I would have seen that, that may have not made the sale. This is sterling silver and Frank Whiting. But I still collect, everybody. And, it's my right to, still collect and still to keep a few pieces here and there. But I didn't keep anything out of this collection except for that large blue stone pendant. I showed Jeremy that and I said, I'm simply not selling it. This is sterling silver, and that's the mark for Blackington. So there's the B with the sword through it, so that's Blackington. That is just that sterling silver wax seal for letters that was never engraved. So you would engrave your initials here, and you would stamp your wax seal. You would heat up your wax, and you'd stamp it with your thing. So this is a wax seal. Very beautiful, very elegant. So yeah, that could sell on its own, but I'm probably not going to do it. Probably going to sell all these pieces together. This is great. The Alamo. It's a souvenir spoon from the Alamo that someone turned in to a brooch. Can you imagine wearing a little souvenir pin as a brooch? What a wonderful little thing. And then this is Scandinavian. This is from Denmark. There you go, sterling silver. That's the maker's mark right there. Secondary maker's mark, so it's not that I didn't care about it, but it doesn't elevate the price of a little crown with an hors d'oeuvre fork. So that's solid sterling silver. So that'll probably sell us a lot as well. Let's get into this, and then I wish this didn't take as long as it did, but I want to go over some of these things. J. King, beautiful large J. King pendant and friction back and post earrings. That one's bent, so watch me fix this right now. Let's take this off and let's carefully bend this down and reform it right there and then push back up. See, that's all you got to do sometimes is do a little bit of work and then we go the opposite direction. See how I bent it in such the pro without breaking it off of there. See how I bent it in, you saw what I did. I bent it this way first, then I coaxed it back over that way. It's pretty good. You know, it's pretty good. It's good enough. And then I say, I don't want to push it anymore. We'll leave it alone. So post and friction back. These are the matching J. King earrings. Solid sterling silver. Wonderful gemstone. Very large. Oversized bail yet again. Love that as a set. And look at how the stone matrix, look how they matched it for the earrings. So absolutely well thought out. His stones are just great. Oh, and these earrings that I had up earlier with the pearls on them, they are natural pearl. They are Tahitian pearl. And they are solid 14 karat white gold with these amazing sapphires. And I looked on the wire to see if they were signed. They're all soldered together. Look at that open where they would put stones in. Beautiful sapphire. And then look right here. These are signed 585, and there's the maker's mark as well. So those are solid 14 karat white gold, and there's the maker's mark. 585, there's the maker's mark. These are exceptional. Those are probably the most elegant pearl earrings I've had now in, I'm going to go out on a limb and say 6 months, because such station earrings now, you go to the gem shows and those start at like, for a good pair, for a great quality pair like this, they start at 2,000 and they go up from there. And that's no lying. You get what you pay for with pearls. And let's go in close on those. Let me show you the pearls themselves. Look at the size and the color. Millimeter on these are going to be at least, let me take a peek. Those are going to be at least about a 8. So I'll get my millimeter gauge out. And we'll have the millimeter for the sale. Love the sapphire accents. So if you love dangle earrings, those are beautiful. I'll have to return those to Jeremy. This is definitely a Chinese panel bracelet in solid sterling silver. Let's find the clasp over here. There you go. Solid sterling silver, Chinese hallmarks all over the place. So there you could do your little research and see how old this is. Has quite a bit of age to it for sterling silver. And let's make sure the clasp works perfect. And it locks in and it's very secure. Has its original safety. Wonderful construction on that for a sterling silver bracelet. This is Robert Lee Morris for the people that love more contemporary. Robert Lee Morris. And it does have the RLM both on the clasp and it's signed up under here 925 and RLM. Robert Lee Morris. Sterling silver hand-constructed beads and beautiful modeled natural turquoise. Kind of that normal turquoise color we look for, spaced with that seafoam green with that electric orange matrix. Untreated, unstabilized, gorgeous. Red jasper, turquoise, sterling silver, Pabe J. King coil bracelet. Fits up to a size 7-inch wrist. Fantastic. And I did wear this for like 15 minutes. And it looks so wonderful on. And stacked with turquoise, I mean, look at that. Here, let me put it on for all of you. Some people say, hey, can you try the things on so we can see the scale of some of the pieces? And I go, I like to keep the previews moving. But yeah, when it comes time to look, are you kidding how cool that looks? How awesome that looks? And it does lay down perfect. It didn't jostle on my wrist at all. And I'm a 7, and look how cool that looks paired with a turquoise cuff. Very interesting. And when I put it on, it was funny. I said, well, now that this, box is, so affordable for me, maybe I'll just keep it. And it was like, no, this is a celebration. So the uraeus, the ankh, and then the open lotus, and that beautiful large scarab. Really fantastic carving on that. The hieroglyphics on the back are great. So there you go. There are the Egyptian hallmarks for the silver content as well. There's one and there's another one. And the construction is wonderful. The clasp was replaced with a brass clasp, and I'm okay with that. You can replace that if you want. I'm going to leave it that way. I could replace it between now and then, but I'm probably not going to. I'm probably going to say I do need some sleep between recording this and the sale, and then 2 beaded necklaces, and we'll probably sell these as a bundle. We'll put these 2 together. Sterling silver, some sort of green banded stone in the jasper or agate family. Who really cares? Sterling silver, very beautiful green, and then that everyone says apple coral or sponge coral. I go, I don't care. I don't want to give it a term. I just want to sell it. Sterling silver puffy heart. Wonderful construction on that as well. Very lightweight, and this one has some heft to it. But I want to sell those together because I want the sale to be fun. I'm going to go get Jeremy's tray. Jeremy, you ready? I'm coming for you. All right. Here. And we're still recording over there. Wow. Where'd all this come from? Holy cow. All right. Jeremy, you've got how many more pieces in there? Just get a rough count of what we have left that we didn't get through, and then they'll know to come over to the sale. So Jeremy, just give me a count when you can. This is Larimar and sterling silver, post and friction back. Check those out. Holy cow. Look at this blister pearl bracelet. And we have this with a necklace. So we're going to pair these 2 together, this kind of abalone shell, and look at the iridescence in this. Are you kidding me? The front and the back are just equally as beautiful on a simple chain. But look at that if we pair those together. And this one is sterling silver. Again, I scratched it, I tested it, because a lot of times when it's cut like this and soldered like that, you cannot trust it to be sterling. But guess what? The early ones from the 90s are totally sterling. Let me go in and show you. Look at the solder seams. And look at the way the bezels are constructed. Absolutely sterling silver, 100% through and through. And we guarantee everything, but look at the diverse colors of pearl. It has every color of ocean pearl that you would want. And look, that pendant totally pulls the colors out. We're going to do that as a pairing. We're going to do that as a duo. Again, we wanted this sale to be a sale of appreciation. Much more customer appreciation than anything else. A beaded necklace. We'll pair this with something else. A beautiful large mosaic cross. So if you're into Italian mosaics and you need an Italian mosaic that I was fogging up because I get so hot in the previews. Oh, that's hilarious. You have a hot host over here, Jeremy. So this is micro mosaic and a very large cross. Look at the color. Very beautiful for pink. What says Easter more than that? It's so well done. Then we're going to put these 2 together. This one's Florenza, but I think we have other Florenza pieces. And this is that Angel Station bracelet that's vintage as well. So those are going to be paired together as a duo to make our costume jewelry collectors extremely happy. This is another gold ring with a citrine. That is a golden citrine. And this is blue topaz or aqua and sterling silver. I think that might be aqua, but I'll definitely check real quick before we go on live. And this one is gold, and the citrine is almost a 7, so that's a 6 3/4 for that tiny golden citrine. If you like delicate jewelry and you need a gold ring with a citrine, there you go. We'll have you happy. And this one is a technical 9. That is technically a 9. Those sure do read as aqua, but they might be sky blue topaz. So we'll definitely check those out. That has oxidized a lot, so you know that that's vintage. Absolutely beautiful construction on this one, though. And, oh, this heart pendant for the double heart with both natural, if you want to say pink sapphire. I still always call them ruby. Then look at that little heart on the inside that moves. Articulating and full articulating bail. That's always technically really hard to do. On a sterling silver chain, really good size. So if you love that heart, come on over to the sale. Larimar necklace, that's a station necklace that I almost dumped over my whole container over here. And this is sterling silver, Bali, a sapphire, another sapphire, that's an emerald, and that's an emerald. And the rest of it is just sterling silver beads. That is a wonderful bracelet. Definitely Bali and India combination on that one. These may be little diamonds. Yeah, those are little diamonds in sterling silver and a synthetic ruby heart. So that is a created ruby heart. Rhodium plated sterling silver. Very cool because it's two hearts and it's asymmetrically set on that bail. And then a beautiful artistic amber brooch. I will say this much right now. I even surprised myself with this sale. I now that I look at the collection, I'm like, you know what? I absolutely love this for our 25K celebration. And when I say I'm going to make these things affordable, I don't just say it. So please come over to the sale and check us out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I do have a handful of other pieces over here. There are cufflinks. There's a man in uniform brooch that's old. There is a beautiful 14 karat gold head stick pin. So that is 14 karat gold on a brass stick pin, but that is Victorian for solid 14 karat gold on the top. Cufflinks. Ooh, a really interesting locket. Very interesting locket. And military insignia on the front. And there looks to be a gentleman. Is that? Yeah, it looks to be. I don't know if that's I thought it was. Yeah, it's a gentleman with an old hat on. And handsome fella. And definitely snaps together with mother of pearl. It's like a little book locket. Interesting. Might go with another thing. Might go with another piece. And then you guys, you have to trust me. A ton of sterling silver charm bracelets, a little ocean pearl Navajo pendant with beautiful ocean pearl, sterling silver construction, and then look at this. I mean, I wish I would have had time to go through all this, but I'll just show you as a a big lot. Look at all the sterling I'm going to bring, and I'm going to do some... Look at that for all the sterling I'm going to bring. And this is a wonderful sterling silver chain, Byzantine bracelet in solid sterling silver. Look at the construction of that chain. And I think I've kept you... Oh, I want to show you this one too. I think I've kept you all long enough. There's some charm bracelets over there. And look at that for that Byzantine sterling silver chain. So beautifully constructed. And I would say that's about... Yeah, that's going to be about 20 inches long. So I hope this preview was good enough. I hope it was thorough enough. And again, let me show you the baseline information in our outro, which basically is this. To register, again, please go over to bullyrunantiques@gmail.com. Take a screenshot of that. YouTube name, real name, shipping address, email for invoice, and phone number. Those are all the information that we need from you to participate in the sale. And again, we welcome all of you. It's going to be this coming Tuesday, July 1st, promptly at 7 p.m. Claim style, buy it now, fast and fun. Jason's 25K celebration. And do me a favor, just give Jeremy some grace this week with invoicing and with shipping. I did ask him if he just wanted to skip this week because of taking the trailer out, and he said absolutely not. He wanted to keep everyone happy and safe and sound with the sales. Jeremy, is there anything else you'd like to say on the outro?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, Jeremy said we're good. I want to thank all of you so much for the love that you shared with all of us. I want to thank you all so much for coming over to the sales. Even if you don't buy anything, we love to see you there. We love to see our numbers growing every week. And we do want to give you a very special shout out and a very special thank you. Because without all of you, we don't have a reason to have our channels. We don't have a reason to educate and to entertain. And it's because of all of you that we're here. And we know where we've come from. We will never forget where we've come from. And it means the world to us. We're incredibly, incredibly grateful. And before I get too emotional, it's been an amazing journey. It's an awful lot of work. It takes a lot of our free time. But we absolutely enjoy what we're doing. And don't ever forget how much we love you, because we do.